Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. This is Nurse Infinity here. Today we have a quick video. We're just going to talk about our personal experiences dealing with the coronavirus crisis at our hospital. So just to hop in, right now we're working on the designated COVID overflow unit. We primarily work on a medical surgical unit with the coronavirus crisis going on right now. Surgeries have been limited, so we only have emergency surgeries, so anything that's elective is canceled. So our unit was closed down and we were designated the staff for the COVID unit. Right about now, the patients that we are admitting to the hospital, we consider those patients PUIs, person under investigation, and we're just ruling out if they have coronavirus.
So they're patients that are mostly stable, but if they have, obviously a history of any respiratory illness, they do admit them, keep them a couple days maybe, and just see how they do respiratory wise, and if they're stable, they're able to go home. We do swab them if they had not already been swabbed. So these patients, we swab them when they get into the ED, or they might have already been swabbed prior to admission. So the times that the test results are coming back vary. We've had people that wait several days, week. Some people are just within a day or two. We have noticed that the results are coming back a little quicker. But I think that's just our hospital. I think, we have several people that are designated people who look at the results and are following up with them.
So let's talk about ratios. Right now, our ratio is 3-to-1. 3 patients, 3 rule-out patients. Now, if you have a positive patient, it would be 1-to-1. So if there's only one positive patient on the unit, that nurse would just have that positive patient. If there's several, let's say there's 2 or 3, that nurse would take care of just those positive patients, just so they're not exposing the potential patients that are negative to positive patients. Let's see. We have a steady inflow of patients. It's not really, we're not at capacity, I would say, our unit, but as soon as one patient is ruled out, they go to another unit.
If they still need medical care.
If they still need medical care, either discharge, they go to another unit. As soon as we discharge that patient, most likely we're getting another one. So it's a steady inflow, but nothing crazy. We don't have any PCTs at the moment. The idea is that we're trying to limit exposure to everyone. If the nurses can just take care of, do their nursing duties as well as patient care technician duties, that's what we're doing right now. There has been talks of bringing PCTs into the mix, but
that's only if our hospital's preparing for the worst, I guess, at this point. They keep saying that the virus is going to peak in 2 weeks, so we're kind of preparing staff and resources and things like that for that peak. So they have already told us just to be prepared for our ratios to increase, but also bringing in that help from the patient care technicians. Right now, only nurses, lab technicians, and respiratory therapists are the ones that are going in to do patient care. And the nurses, we cluster our care. So if they're independent patients, they're alert and oriented and they're ambulatory and things like that, we're pretty much just going in with meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Obviously doing vitals every time we go in, their medications we're clustering. It does get a little more challenging when we do have patients who need more care, total care, dementia patients or non-ambulatory elderly patients. So that does get a little challenging. People with other comorbidities, diabetes obviously is a big one, so we're doing our own checks, and so putting on and taking off the PPE does take time, but I don't think it's something that we've really found to be such a challenge. I think initially it was, but the more you do it, and
it's more annoying than anything, but We have to do it to protect ourselves.
And you do would take your time, because you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. That's the main concern, is that we do have the resources still. We do have proper PPE. We are getting assigned PPE every shift, and our charge nurse goes down, retrieves every nurse's PPE, and we have enough for the shift. So in our area, we have not experienced any crisis,
any shortage of equipment.
Right. So for us, it hasn't really been an issue. Again, we are expecting it to get worse, but for the time being, it's okay.
So we're going into our second week, I believe, of being on the COVID unit. So what a day looks like for us, like she said, we come in, we get our assignment, we gather our equipment, we get goggles. I think we were giving out face shields.
It's either or. Every day it changes.
Yeah.
Some days we'll get goggles, some days we'll get the face shields. I guess it's just whatever our hospital has on hand.
We get about 2 to 3 N95s a day, depending on what they have available, and we try to change it out. The idea is every 5 encounters with a patient, you have to change it out. So.
And then also when we discharge patients, we're using brand new PPE and a brand new N95 mask, because we are escorting the patients down if their results have not come in. So if they're still pending with their discharge, they could still have it. So we do wear that as we escort them to a separate entrance in our hospital, because our hospital is closed to visitors right now at the moment, so it's just employees that are allowed.
So typically in the morning, we try to cluster care. We bring in our morning medications, bring in everything that we think the patient may need: gowns, wipes, fresh water, anything that you can think of, toothbrush, toothpaste. We come in, we try to discuss the plan of care. The idea is to limit exposure, so we don't want to spend any more than 30 minutes in the room. 30 minutes is already a lot of time, but we try to do our assessment, discuss the plan of care with the patient, vitals, past meds, change their bedding if needed, peri-care if it's a non-ambulatory patient. And that's pretty much it. We use the phone to communicate. We give the patient the bedside telephone. We call from the nurse's station before we come in to see if they need anything and how they're doing. That's how we kind of do our hourly rounding. Instead of going into the room every hour, we call and just make sure that they're okay in there.
And we do explain to them when they're admitted, this is the situation. We are limiting exposure, so we're not going to be in the room as often as you think. And we show them how to use the phone, how to answer it. This is how our communication is. Just be patient. Even if you do call, we're not going to be in the room right away, just because we are
time to put on your gear.
Yeah, that, and we're limited to what we have as well. So like we said, we're not running out, but we're trying to take care of what we do have. So we're trying to just let them know that's what to expect while they're there from the very beginning, so it doesn't become an issue later on.
Correct. Okay, so that's our takeaway from dealing with the coronavirus pandemic in South Florida at our hospital. Like we stated earlier, we're not in a crisis zone or a hotspot zone. There are a lot of cases in Florida, but not as many as compared to New York, New Jersey, Washington, and things like that. I know there's a lot of fear, anxiety, a lot of stress dealing with this. We have our own family members and ourselves that we're trying to take care of. At the end of the day, we have to remind ourselves and remember that this is what we signed up for. We're healthcare professionals for a reason, and anything can happen. This can resolve, and then next week there can be another epidemic. So you have to just prepare yourself mentally, and stay healthy. Keep yourself healthy so you can be healthy for your families. Follow all your local and government guidelines, social distancing, hand hygiene, things like that.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of frustration around the lack of PPE and things like that. We all have questions. We went through it. Our coworkers went through it. It's just a lot of unknown. And things are changing every day. Every day we have meetings on, how to put things on, take things off, and protocols are changing every day. So we know it's frustrating, and we've all been through that. And even our first our shift. It was just fear, anxiety, and stress of the unknown, and are these patients, ill? We don't know, but we still have to do our best. I mean, we're just blessed that we have a job, and we have to live up to our nursing oath that we are here to take care of others, and this is just one of those moments where these people are extra vulnerable, and we need to be strong. I know it's hard, but this is kind of another reason why we're making this video, is just to share our experiences and kind of hear other people's experience and hear how they're dealing with the situation, in their hospital, in their home, and just know that we're all in this together.
And I want to say thank you to our nurses that traveled to New York, to Washington, anywhere where there was lack of nurses. So I just want to say thank you to those nurses, and not even just the nurses. There's respiratory therapists, there's all doctors, anybody you can think of that's in the healthcare field that's out there in the front line. We just want to say thank you. And just comment below. We'd like to hear your experience. We want to create a forum open for all positivity and just express yourself.
And we also have an Instagram page. You can follow us at nurseInfinity_. You can interact with us there too. We'd love to hear what you guys are going through and your experiences. So feel free to follow us there, leave a comment, and share this with your friends, and subscribe to our channel because we'll have more videos coming up.
Thank you, and stay safe.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Hey guys, so we're here with a little bit of update. That video was filmed a couple weeks ago at the beginning of the pandemic. So just a couple things have changed. We noticed that we don't have as many patients being admitted as we once did. For like 2 weeks we saw a surge of patients, but lately it's been trickling down the number of patients.
Yeah, so when we saw our surge a couple weeks ago, our patient ratios did increase to accommodate, our higher patient cases, and we were still the only primary care team. We did not have any techs or what we call PCTs, so it was just the nurses doing all the care with these higher ratios. But like she mentioned, our numbers have already slowed down, and we actually just closed our Med-Surg Covid unit. So what our hospital did is they just are using the ICU unit to house all COVID positive patients and rollouts. So technically that unit is housing ICU care, like true ICU patients, PCU patients, and the Med-Surg COVID patients. So right now, as we're waiting for surgeries to start back up next week, actually, we might still be floating to the COVID unit just because we are familiar with the process and the procedures down there. So we're just kind of waiting to see what happens as the states are starting to open back up. In our area, we're actually not opening up for another 10 days. So all we have to, all we can do is just wait and see and be prepared. I think we're a lot better prepared, now than we were 6 weeks ago when all of this started.
Yeah, and also to clarify, beginning in the video, I think it was me, I said, we signed up for this. Looking back, I know that's a trigger for a lot of people. What I mean by that is we signed up to be caretakers, we signed up to take care of others, but in order to do that, we have to protect ourselves to be able to protect the patients. So when I said we have to sign up for this, it doesn't mean that, just we're thrown into the fire the way it is. No, we have to take care of ourselves to protect our families and our loved ones in order to do our job also. So just wanted to clarify that because I know there's been a lot of talk of you signed up for this, just suck it up, and especially with the PPE shortage.
Yeah.
So just wanted to clarify that. That's it.
Yeah, because we also fought ourselves to demand proper PPE for our shifts. So we were, we signed up to be nurses, yes, as she said, to take care of patients and their families. But what we didn't sign up for is to do our job without that protection that we need to protect our own families and ourselves. So yeah, like she said, we just wanted to clarify because we don't want to have any
misunderstandings.
Right.
And that's about it. So we'll continue to make videos and keep you updated with what's going on in our home state of Florida and just our experience working during this pandemic. And please like, subscribe, and any comments or anything, just comment below.